Is the market gonna fall even more? Did we bottom? What's up with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with Solana, for example, going below the $200? What is that all about? Is bear market here? Winter's coming? Well, there's a lot to talk about, and we're gonna do that in today's video, so let's jump right into it. So first of all, I'd like to start by saying that no, we're not in a bear market yet. This was just a correction. If you have watched all these videos that we've done here, you should know that yes, the correction was bound to happen. We now tested the lower bounds of the RSI on the daily, on the 4 hours, on the 1 hours. Actually, on Ethereum, this was the lowest the RSI has gotten in quite a while. I think in the daily or in the 4 hours. I'm not entirely sure, but it was very, very low. So very oversold. And personally, I think now the pain is almost over. And then especially in Bitcoin's case, if we see these numbers that I showed you before, if we see some green numbers by the end of September, if September closes in the green, October should be another October like we had last year. So a bunch of information. Let's start by looking at Bitopics, what we have, what we're doing, and a bunch of other stuff. Jumping straight into Bitopics, we start with the copy trading as per usual. The copy trading now doing fantastic, 4.14% ROI. That is a huge return for September. We are doing better than August for sure, and better than July. And now we can still squeeze in one more trade to do better than June. Maybe we get even towards May's goals. My personal portfolio is up 5.5%, and my options could be better, honestly. Right now, I sold a 3750 put for tomorrow. So this one, I should be collecting some premium on this, around 0.6, 0.7% more or less, which still fine, will add to my percentage. Maybe we're going to be going all the way to the 6% by the end of September, which is fantastic for me. But the Ethereum one, that one bottomed. But again, I do have high hopes for both Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, which right now aren't doing very good, especially these two. But it is part of the game. You know, when everyone is fearful, you should be prepared to get into the markets. And that's exactly what's happening. Look at this right here. The fear and greed index is at 32. Fantastic for us, mainly because when people are fearful, it is time for you to start getting in, not getting out. When people are saying things on Twitter, like for example, now it is over. If you haven't sold already, you lost all of your money. The market's going to go down to zero. Bitcoin was a farce. Ethereum was a bad copy, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. When you start seeing this, you know that now is the time for you to get in. And we talked about it before. I was showing you the Total 2. I was showing you the M2 Global, which we have right here, for example, the M2 Global. I showed you already that we most likely are now in this stage right here. We are right around this corner right here where this pink reddish line had this dip. I think we're having the dip right now. And now we should start seeing the last leg up towards the 150 on Bitcoin. So yes, I do believe that now we are going to start to see a huge movement, especially because this year Bitcoin has gone up 15% only. A lot of people who were invested in stocks, who were invested in Nvidia, Intel, chips, whatever. They're, hey, I'm up 60% this year. You're only up 15% with your Bitcoin. Well, guess what? I think now is the time to show them that most likely we're going to be getting even higher. And that's because people are looking just since January. But if you zoom out a little bit more, just 2 months prior, before the election, we're actually up over 60%. If you remember, before Trump's election, we were like at $68,000, $70,000, and we went all the way up to 124,000. And now I think 150 is the next goal. So Everton, why do you say that? Well, as I told you before, when you see fear and greed at these levels, you know that people are exiting and smart money is getting in, is getting ready for the next pump. And also, when you look right here at the daily, you see that Bitcoin most likely has bottomed. You see, we're trending towards levels right here on June and July. And I think now that we've reset the RSI, we are ready for the next leg up, which should bring us all the way to the 150. So I believe that we're going to be doing at least at 30-40% returns. And I can back that up because if we look right here on the historical returns for Bitcoin, if we are able to close this green, so if we're able to still close September in the green, we have statistically speaking, we've had only great months after that. So whenever we close green, we have great Octobers. Statistically speaking, this is a fact. Of course, we had some Octobers where we're not green, but October has been overall a very, very good month, if not the best month ever for Bitcoin return-wise. When we talk about medium, which is a little bit better than the average if you're trying to get things corrected, the medium is the best month for Bitcoin. You can see right here. So this is what I believe is going to be happening for Bitcoin, and then it will trickle down to Ethereum, Solana, and all the other coins. And because a lot of people are getting liquidated, we can see that actually right now, not on this one right here. We had on Sunday 1.7 billion, and now we have almost 900 million right here. So this week alone, we had huge market movements, and back then it was only green liquidated. Now again, more green liquidated. Around 85% of all positions that were liquidated, they were longs. And you can see, what is XPL, for example? Well, it is Plasma, which is their airdrop. So a bunch of people got their airdrop and sold, and because of that, there was a huge selling pressure, liquidating a lot of long people. So a lot has happened. We had the Aster versus Hyperliquid, Wintermute, which was the one behind the crash on Sunday, and Wintermute CZ is also behind the Aster DEX or centralized exchange, however you want to see that fit. Now we're having that discussion on crypto Twitter, but there's a lot of things happening right now. So how should you prepare for the market? How should you be prepared? Of course, with your leaps on the topics, or leverage if you want to go for the leverage route. Of course, I never advise, because with that comes huge liquidations, and you can be one of these numbers right here on screen as we saw. But with leaps, you can only lose what you put in, so you're not going to get portfolio called, margin called, and have to wipe everything out. But now I should be getting ready with my leaps, or with calls for December, January, February, so we have more data to play with. This is what I would do personally, and we can even use some data to back it up, some data to be more useful, because with data, if you're analyzing data, you're pretty much smart money. You're using information, not only your gut feeling, to trade, and that's usually very, very profitable in a compounded environment in a long period of time. So by looking at this page, we have some information. Let's actually switch to Bitcoin, for example. What we're looking right now is the open interest. And the open interest tells us a lot of good things, especially when it comes for us traders of options. So of course, also for the leverage guys, also for the spot guys, but for us who are doing more precise and advanced strategies, open interest is very, very important. A lot of people go by volume, a lot of people go by other statistics, other data, but open interest is very important. And look at this, the max pain for Bitcoin, this is by tomorrow's expiration, cannot see it right here. So for tomorrow's expiration, what it shows right now is that the max pain is $112,000 for Bitcoin. And if you switch to Ethereum, we see that that number is the $4,000 now, still for tomorrow. What is that telling us? It is telling us that the price that is going to hurt the most the whole market, so between calls and puts, between shorts and longs, it's going to be for Ethereum $4,000, and for Bitcoin $112,000. And how does that affect us traders? Well, if you're selling options and you see right here a max pain of $4,000 for Ethereum, you go look at the price of Ethereum, and now Ethereum is at $39.54. So what does it mean? It means that this max pain price is going to be sort of like a magnet to the current price of the underlying asset. If now Ethereum is below this line, it's going to move towards the 4K. If it was above, it was going to move down towards the 4K. For Bitcoin, now it is at 109. It's going to move towards the 112 by tomorrow, which is the expiration that we're looking at. If we're filtering by next month, by next year, we were going to see different pain points right here shown in the screen. So for you trader, if you're trying to get in, sell your spreads, sell your calls, or sell your puts, whatever you want to do, this is a very important option. Yesterday, we had huge open interest because we were ending the month. So Friday is usually a very huge expiration for options, especially the last Friday of the month. And today was it actually. Today, as I'm recording, is Friday. So this morning was a huge expiration here, and that had huge influences on the market because, for example, the max pain was around 38.50. So whenever you're trading, make sure to look. This is a very important tip for you right here. The max pain is very useful if you're trying to do especially 0DT trades or trades in very important event or information coming out, especially right now with the whole ETF saga taking a lot of importance right now. We have XRP, Ethereum, Solana, a bunch of these assets now regarding their ETFs this may or may not, so a lot of hype building, meaning more volatility, meaning more information that can change the market on the macro level. And that means the more tools you have to get better trades, the better it is for you. So in my opinion, Ethereum not dead, Bitcoin not dead, Solana a little bit hard and it hurts a little bit, but this should be the bottom or close to the bottom when it comes for these assets. And now we should start seeing October being a very, very good, especially for Bitcoin. And then the altcoin season should see, after the huge move in Bitcoin, we should see that money trickle towards Ethereum and all the other altcoins. Of course, let me know in the comments, what do you believe? I still believe now we are on that upside of the cycle, and then the cycle will top, let's say, beginning mid-January, and we should be done with that. Hopefully I am correct. Of course, I remember saying that September was going to be the month, and now it looks like October is going to be that instead. So hopefully I am right, just wrong in my time frame. So only time will tell. And of course, if I'm wrong, you can come here and just let me know that I was wrong, completely wrong in this video, or in whatever other video you want. Feel free to comment down below. But again, I am bullish and I am taking action in that bullishness. So I am betting that the market's going to go up. So hopefully it repays me and it puts more money in my pocket. So let me know if you're doing any contrary trades to what I'm doing. So the opposite of what I'm doing. If you're doing any active trades on the daily, like for example, I am doing the 0DTEs. But other than that, I'll see you guys on Monday for another video, as always, right here on the topics. Thank you very much. Take care. Peace.